This week in East Brunswick, residents visited an open house at the Dunhams Cor Firehouse. That same day, hundreds participated in the annual crop walk to benefit the hungry of the region and of the world. Also this week, John Megg will be in the studio with high school girls gymnastics coach Leslie Gantner discussing this year's team. Sharon will talk to Sue Rosenblatl about Making Dreams Come True, a program sponsored by the newly formed East Brunswick Liungssgs to benefit young victims of serious illness. On this week's Consumer Aware, Mary Tinascio will offer tips for a safe Halloween, and we'll end with a brief look at Monday's Township Council meeting. Sunday, the Independent Fire Company of Dunhams Corner Road held its annual open house. A pleasant fall day in East Brunswick adds to the enjoyment of the many activities by residents, adults as well as children. The firemen invited our camera crew up in their 100-foot bucket truck, out of which these aerial shots were taken. Emphasis was on hand-on experience with the fire equipment. For the kids, this meant sitting in the driver's seat, playing with the big steering wheel, bells, and lights. The winners of a special poster contest were announced. Later, firemen demonstrated the jaws of life, used to save the lives of accident victims trapped in their cars. Firemen also showed how car fires are extinguished in a dramatic display in the middle of Dunhams Corner Road. That same day, residents met down the road at the East Brunswick Civic Center for the annual crop walk. Mayor Fox greeted the many walkers.
I just want to very briefly say that it's a real pleasure to see the crop walk continue in East Brunswick. It has become a tradition here, but it's a tradition that makes a lot of sense because East Brunswick, if it isn't anything else, is a place where people really try to help other people. I just left the open house at the fire company down at the corner, at the Firehouse. And that's a long tradition in our town of people helping other people. And it's a real pleasure to see all of you young people here because it says to me that you still have the spirit of helping other people and you're the future of our community. And I'm just so happy that all of you are here and that you're walking to help other people who are hungry in our world.
Reverend Paula Durant spoke about one of the local projects to benefit from the crop walk, a soup kitchen in New Brunswick called Lunch on the House of God.
25% of the money you raise today is going to go to that soup kitchen. And I hope you all, if you're not aware of it before today, will become aware of it. 5 days a week, the doors open at 11 o'clock, and anybody who is hungry is to come in the door and be served a nutritious, well-balanced lunch. No questions are asked about your need. What is occurring in New Brunswick is that at the beginning of the month, when the welfare checks and the like have been distributed, about 70 people come to lunch. Toward the end of the month, when people don't have money to buy food, there are as many as 180 hungry people who come in and are served a free lunch. It is a very needed service. If any of you wonder if there's poor in our area, just come with us one of the days we go and help at the soup kitchen and you will be surprised. You will also be doubly glad for the money you are raising today. They desperately need it. Thank you.
Now let's join Sharon in the studio with Sue Rosenblatl.
Hello, this is Sharon Karmazin, live at the library for East Brunswick this week. With me today, I have Sue Rosenblatl, who many of you may know from her show, Our Town, which is here on Channel 8 very regularly. She also is one of the principals of Stylish Aid here in East Brunswick. But today, Sue is with us to discuss an exciting new organization that she's involved in the founding of, the East Brunswick Liungssgs. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you.
Tell us about the new organization, when it started, and how many members you have.
Okay. We're a new organization. We started August 31st, 1983. We have 38 members right now. We were sponsored by the East Brunswick Lions Club, who I can't thank enough. When we started the organization, the organization was made up of 25 initial people in the charter. Before we could be chartered, we had to get 25 people. After that, people have just been calling and wanting to join us.
I understand your organization has a very special focus. With so many service organizations in the community, it seems as if you found something to focus on that's very different. Can you tell us about it?
Okay, what we decided to do was we decided to have a program that would work with the children who are cancer victims and leukemia victims, children that might not have another birthday. And what we decided to do is make a special dream come true for them. Parents of these children are so wrapped up in their illnesses and they're wrapped up in doctor bills that they really can't afford, and they don't have the time to go out and do something special for their kids. So what we've decided to do is we've decided to make an organization that would gear it towards making dreams happen for special children. And it's a very exciting.
What are some of those kinds of dreams that you're going to be involved in making come true?
We've already had donated to us a ticket for four from World Airlines to go anywhere in the world. We have been given a ticket to Disney World by another travel agency. We have several manufacturers, several large companies who in fact, we have a meeting coming up October 24th. And we've invited many, many large corporations to come in to take on a child. And the way we're going to decide what it is that we want to give these kids is we're actually going to ask the kids, what do you want for your birthday? And not knowing, they're going to write something out to the local organization that they're affiliated. Most of them are affiliated, Ronald McDonald House, Muscular Dystrophy, the Middlesex County Health Departments. They all have lists of names.
And these will be local children.
Right. These will be all local children in the Middlesex County area. And we're going to ask them to write what they want for their birthday. And, you know, children, it's very simple. Most kids don't ask for very much, especially when, you know, these kids, you know, they might ask for a trip to Disney World. They might ask to meet a big star somewhere, baseball player. Children are very easy to please, basically, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult. And we are asking the support of all the companies and all the major corporations and individuals who are willing to take on a child and sponsor a child for us.
Can you tell us about the meeting on October 24th?
Yes, we're planning a meeting October 24th at Denny's in East Brunswick. The meeting will be held at 9 o'clock. And we've invited a numerous amount of corporations. Johnson & Johnson, Squibb will be there, Coca-Cola will be there, major food chains will be there, public service will be there, certain individuals will be there, and it's all based on if they're willing to take on a child, to sponsor a child. And also there's, in conjunction with that, there is also a large Christmas party that is being had, that McDonald's is actually sponsoring. But it was through McDonald's Corporation that they had us, they gave us this meeting, and they gave us the opportunity to ask these corporations to sponsor our children.
Now, the meeting on October 24th, if there are people who are watching us right now who are interested in attending, is that possible too?
Yes, they can call me at my phone number, which is 238-6116, and that's my business number. They can call and they could leave a message that they would like to attend, and they'll just be counted in.
Right, okay.
And it's a
great.
free breakfast. It will be sponsored by Denny's.
And when do you expect to make your first dream come true? Do you know yet?
We're working on a date for Christmas. We are working on a Christmas date. I think that after this October 24th meeting, we will definitely be able to deliver some of our dreams by Christmas.
Now, if women are interested in becoming members of the Lionesses, what do you suggest they do?
I suggest one or two things, that they call me at that phone number, 238-6116, or on October 19th, we're having an open meeting at the Farrington Manor, and that will be at 7:30, and that's our meeting nights are the third Wednesday of every month.
Is that a dinner meeting?
That is a dessert meeting.
Dessert meeting.
We have 1 month a dessert meeting and 1 month a dinner meeting. And then our installation dinner is October 26th, also at the Farrington Manor. And the monies that we get from that, some of it will be going towards the Dreams Come True program. So if anybody wants to join the organization, they're welcome to come to the meeting. They're welcome to call me. I'll send them an invitation if they want. I'll give them a personal invitation. We'll even send a chauffeured car to pick them up.
Sounds like a great offer.
We're really looking for people to support us.
And what kinds of activities do you have planned for your members this year?
Okay, well, at every one of our meetings, we've planned we have a program coming up. We have a hairdresser that's coming in, and she'll be putting on a program. That's one thing that I think that people, they go out to meetings and they get a little bored. Our major thing that we're going to be doing this year is we're going to be having a fashion show, and it might be by a designer, which is something you've never seen in this area. Usually a store will come in. but a designer might come in.
Will come in with their whole collection?
Yes, with their whole collection. So we're working on that. We're working on the usual fundraisers. What we did was we sent out a questionnaire to all our members asking them exactly what they wanted to do. And we got certain things in a lemon auction, and which I never even heard of until
What's
recently.
a lemon auction?
Everybody comes into a room and brings one item. It could be old or new, and they auction it off. And this is something that's new. That's basically, you know, also there was somebody interested. We're going to have a trip to the Meadowlands and trips to shows and things like that.
Well, it sounds as if you're off to a great start. We wish you well with making dreams come true. This is Sharon Karmazin with Sue Rosenthal at the East Brunswick Library for This Week in East Brunswick. Until next time.
Hi, I'm John Migliaro with a Sports Talk feature for This Week in East Brunswick, where tonight we'll talk about the East Brunswick High School girls gymnastics team. And joining me as a guest is Leslie Gantner, head coach of the girls team. Leslie, welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. You know, when we were last together, we talked about last year's team, and it was kind of early in the season. How about filling us in as to where the girls finished up last year?
Well, last year we finished up with a winning record of 8-3.
Great.
And we finished second in the county tournament.
Second to whom?
Second to Cedar Ridge.
Cedar Ridge, huh? All right, Leslie, now we're at 83. You've already been into 3 meets already, and I think the team is 3-0, right?
Right.
Great. What's the team look like this year?
They look pretty good. It's a very, very young team, mainly composed of sophomores and freshmen, and a lot of club gymnasts are on the team this year, so they're looking pretty strong.
Good. You know, let's talk about that a moment. You and I go back a long way. We've known each other. You've coached in the private clubs like I have, and now you're coaching on the high school level. What difference do you see, if any, between the high school gymnast and the private club gymnast who comes onto the high school scene?
Well, the private club gymnasts have trained at a more intense level than they're going to be trained at the high school level due to the shortness of the high school season. And so when they come to the high school season, the requirements are not quite as stiff as they are for what's called USGF competition.
Right.
And you also get a lot of girls who do not have that club background or perhaps had it when they were younger and have returned to gymnastics as a high school gymnast.
Would you say, though, that the training from the clubs has helped you as a high school coach and helped your team?
Oh, of course. Many club gymnasts have infiltrated the high school teams, and they've made them so much stronger. That, you know.
You said you have a young team this year, and I know that girls gymnastics is one of the few sports that allows freshmen to compete. Is that an advantage or disadvantage for you as a coach?
Oh, it's an advantage. You get the girls in there at least 1 year earlier than they might, you know, if they came in as a sophomore. And especially if they're a good gymnast, then, you know, you get to use them. Any girl who is a freshman in high school can compete on the gymnastics team because there is no such team at the junior high level.
Right. How do you work workouts in terms of the freshmen getting up to the high school? Do you have to wait until they come, or you just start practice?
Right. The way the school hours are now and have been last year, the high school finishes much earlier than the junior high. But since I'm teaching at the junior high, then I get up there a little bit later also. So the high school girls really have to wait for me and the junior high girls.
Great. Leslie, let's take a moment and have your team introduce themselves.
This is our 1983-1984 girls gymnastics team. First, Sue Hunter. Sue is a freshman. She works the all-around. Next is Michelle Guerin. Michelle works vaulting, balance beam, and floor exercise. She's a sophomore. Robin Marks. Robin is a freshman. She'll be working the all-around. Gail Meyer is a sophomore. Gail also works the all-around. Amy Glassman's a freshman. She's another all-around worker. And Chris Polanski is a junior, and she's our best all-around worker.
Leslie, let's talk a little bit about your upcoming schedule, the remaining meets, and your evaluation of those remaining meets.
Our schedule in the past few years has gotten very competitive. It used to be you were pretty confident ahead of time you were either going to win or you're going to lose because there was a wide spread of scores. But over the past few years, every team has gotten much more competitive. So our entire schedule is pretty tough. We're looking at Cedar Ridge. Cedar Ridge beat us at the county tournament last year, and they still have the same girls that led them to that county tournament last year with them, so they'll be a very tough team to beat.
Yeah, I imagine so.
And Hunterdon Central has also been a very strong team that will be meeting soon. I hope to beat them.
Are you in the Middlesex County Conference, or is there a Middlesex County
Yes,
Conference?
there is.
And I would think then Hunterdon Central is not a conference meeting.
Right, right. But they are in our section.
I see, okay.
So, you know, we can meet them again at sectionals if we both qualify for that.
Yeah. Leslie, how about some of the girls we can look for this year on the team to carry the team?
Well, again, like I said, we have a very strong team. I have one junior all-arounder, Chris Polanski, and she's been doing very, very well. She's scoring about a 35 in the all-around, which is very good.
Yeah.
Other all-arounders are Marian Kuderi, who is a freshman, a sophomore. Amy Glassman, also a sophomore all-arounder. Sue Hunter, who is a freshman all-arounder. And Kim Sullivan is a freshman all-arounder. And Robin Marks, also a freshman all-arounder.
Leslie, if you just take a moment and explain what you mean by an all-around, maybe some of our viewers are not familiar with the terminology of gymnastics.
Sure, an all-around gymnast is a girl who works all four of the events, balance beam, floor exercise, uneven bars, and the vaulting. And then other girls might be what we call specialists and just specialize in one or two of the other events.
Let's talk about that just a moment, if you will. I know I've heard some kids in high school say, you know, I can't go out for the team because I can't do all four events. I'm sure you as a coach would not encourage that thinking at all, but rather anyone.
Right, because many times you get a girl who is an all-around gymnast, but of course has a weak event. And if you have a strong specialist to fill that slot for especially tough meets, then you can do so.
How many girls compete on an event?
We have 4 per event, and the top 3 of those 4 scores count towards the team score.
Okay. You know, again, you've been in gymnastics a long time. What's your feeling about high school gymnastics as it is now, presently constituted, and in the future?
Well, like I said before, it's getting much more competitive. We're getting all these club gymnasts coming into the high school scene, and they are the reason that it's becoming so competitive. There is a different set of rules governing high school gymnastics than there are governing what's called USGF gymnastics, and high school gymnastics rules for girls have had to adapt to meet the more difficult tricks that are being thrown and to reward those girls that are performing at a higher level of difficulty.
Yeah. So they have made an attempt anyway to reevaluate the scoring in
right,
high
a
school?
little bit. Every year they progress a little further in that area, and they're looking to go to the same type of judging system that USGF uses.
Well, I think it's only right, and I think it's only fair to the gymnast. How do you as a coach handle that when you have a club girl come into a high school meet scoring, say, 7.0s, in high school scoring 8.5s, and vice versa? What about the high school girl who's never been in a private club meet, scoring 8.5 and above in high school and goes to USGF and scores 6.5?
Right.
Is it difficult for you as a coach to overcome that barrier?
Not too much so. The girls realize the difference in the scoring between the high school and the USGF. So as long as they understand what's going on, then it's not too tough to deal with.
Well, great. Leslie, when are the meets and where are they when they're home?
This Friday we're away at Piscataway, and then I'm not quite sure when we're home. Our next meet is on Tuesday, and I believe that's home.
Okay. Do you usually compete on Tuesday, Friday evenings?
Tuesday and Friday. I believe we have one next Tuesday, one next Friday, following Tuesday, and the following Friday, and all 4 of those meets are home.
And what time do they start?
They start 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. How's attendance been for you?
Not too good. We would like to see as many people as we can to come out, more parents, more young gymnasts who perhaps are interested in seeing the meets. And we have quite a few meets with the boys.
Oh.
So the boys and girls are competing at the same time, so it gives the audience more to watch.
So in effect, you get the value of 2 meets for the price of 1.
Exactly.
Great. Leslie, I want to wish you the best of luck, you and your team, and I'm sure we'll be reading about you this year in the state finals, hopefully.
I hope so. Thank you.
Okay. For This Week in East Brunswick, I'm John Megg. Good night.
Hi, I'm Mary Tenaccio, and welcome to Consumer Aware. As you know, the holidays are approaching, and the first holiday that is going to sneak up on us is Halloween. Halloween should be a fun holiday for the children and for the parents, and yet every year, you know, we all hear of either a disaster or disasters that take place. Today, what I would like to discuss with you as parents and also the children that are listening is safe tips for Halloween. Costumes will be first. If you buy or sew costumes, make sure that they fit properly. If you make a costume Make sure that there are features that perhaps for small children especially, that they could wear them the following year. But keep in mind to be sure that the costume does not drag on the ground. Many children are hurt from tripping on costumes. If you're purchasing material, make sure that the material you purchase is flame resistant. Avoid masks on little children if possible. Have children wear sturdy shoes when trick-or-treating. Supply trick-or-treat bags for the children that are not so large that they hinder the vision of a small child. Think about the possibility of cold weather on Halloween night. A costume may have to fit over a warm, bulky sweater. When you're purchasing treats for Halloween, try and purchase something that's nutritious if possible. Raisins, fruits, nuts, popcorn, they're all good choices. Buy pre-wrapped treats or wrap homemade treats and tape your name and address on the item. Inspect your children's treat bags before they are eaten. Dispose of all opened or poorly wrapped articles. Check homemade treats for familiar names and addresses. If they do not appear, dispose of that package. Wash and inspect fruit thoroughly. One safe inspection is to take the fruit and cut it into small pieces. As we know, in the past, we have found razor blades, nails, straight pins, and articles like that in the fruit. Know where your children are going on Halloween. Check their route and make changes in that route if you feel that there is a safety problem. Make sure that they have a time to be home. Even for small children, if you say, go out and in 15 minutes come home and let me check your treat bag. Go along with the children if possible. Visit just a few homes in your neighborhood early in the evening, especially when the children are so tiny. Advise your children, young and old, to respect the wishes of others who prefer not to participate in Halloween. Instruct the children to keep away from darkened homes. Allow children to trick-and-treat only in their own neighborhood. Do not drop them off in strange neighborhoods. Provide children with flashlights and instruct them to use them. Do not use candles. Tell children to stay away from strange animals. Even if the people say they're friendly, do not take the chance. Suggest to older children that an at-home party may be more fun than trick-or-treating. For your own home protection on Halloween night, keep all your outside lights on. Restrain your pets. Remove any obstacles from outdoors. Children can trip over small items also, a hose, for instance, that hasn't been put away for the winter yet. Do not allow trick-or-treaters into your home. It is best to have a barrier, such as a table, at the door. Be extremely careful in your home with jack-o'-lanterns. Do not perch them on a table or a sill. Never allow children around a lighted jack-o'-lantern unless an adult is present. Stay home on October 31st. This is the best protection for you, the trick-or-treater, and your property. Thanks so much for listening today. If you have any questions regarding the information that I gave you, or anything else that you might be interested in, please do not hesitate to call your Consumer Affairs office. The telephone number is 390-6954, and as you know, we are there every day, Monday through Friday, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This message has been brought to you by your Consumer Affairs office.
At Monday's Township Council workshop session, planner Carl Hintz presented a series of maps outlining a waterfront redevelopment plan encompassing over 200 acres along the Raritan, including the marina area as well as the proposed site of the Resco Resource Recovery Plant. Here's part of the discussion that followed.
You know, I've been concerned about the development of this area, particularly the entire area as it might affect the potential development of the marina. Now, it's hard to envision that marina as being something that we can take pride in unless you are a planner or have a little bit of vision, because it's a real mess right now. But there is a sense, certainly in the planning community and to some degree in the business community, and certainly by the owner, that it has real potential. And so I think that, furthermore, there's a concern about stabilizing the area in the future, reforesting, stabilizing the riverbanks, and simply controlling the development of that entire area. And I want to recommend to the council that you put on your agenda for next week a resolution asking the planning board to conduct an investigation of blight of this particular area. And if it is declared blighted by the planning board and there is a redevelopment plan approved by the planning board, if the township desired, it could then acquire the area that is designated as research conservation, which would then allow us to control the development of it either through the council or through the Economic Development Authority or Commission.
Yeah, I want to say that I think that that's just an excellent idea, because I find that in my own mind the state seems to appear to have two different plans, one for conservation of the area and the waterways that almost encircle that particular area, and then on the other hand we've got a landfill operation there and a proposed resource recovery unit. Two plans from the same state being so inconsistent. I mean, I think I would much rather go for preserving and conserving the area, and I'm certainly willing to put that on the agenda for next week as far regarding the planning board looking into a blighted condition.
I think that the mayor has come around 7 years too late. The mayor should have came around where Edgeboro had 125 acres, and then 7 years ago they put in another 125 acres without too much resistance from the town. That's when they should have stopped at 125 acres. And also in the master plan with the resource recovery plant, and now we're hearing that there may be some land set there in that area to put ash. It's quite disturbing to hear these things, but all the things now is almost after the fact.
I think it's better late than never when it comes to protecting the environment, and it's about time that we protect what is left there and try to reinvigorate what's been destroyed by the old landfills. I think it's a good idea to have it on the agenda from the city.
Can I make a comment on it before we pass off Elaine?
No, go ahead.
I understand what the mayor's saying, and I'll be happy to do the resolution. We'll have to define it as the conservation area in reference to one of the maps, which will include all the either gray or green. I'm not sure what color that is. Does the council understand that we would not be obligated to acquire all of the land or any of the land, but that you might want to acquire it? And if you didn't acquire it, if you simply had the planning board declare an area blighted and they recommend back to the council, as those of you may remember with Magley's, you eventually have to put your money where your mouth is. And the process would be condemnation. I have checked into whether or not the town has the right to acquire land, which may be under some sort of public utility BPU regulation. I think we do have that power. I don't think we easily have the power to acquire landfill, but I think we do have and what we're talking about is not working landfill that we're talking about.
That's correct.
So I want the town council to recognize that if we go through this process, which we will, and a resolution comes back from the planning board saying, yes, here's our redevelopment plan, we say it should be conservation, that there will be a price tag attached to it.
Council members also discussed how to deal with the $25,000 cost overrun on the new Senior Citizens Center. This November, citizens in East Brunswick will be asked to vote on a non-binding referendum concerning the proposed RESCO Resource Recovery Plan. This issue will be receiving a great deal of coverage, both pro and con, for the next few weeks on Channel 8. The display pictured here was recently placed in the library by RESCO to help citizens learn more about the pro-resource recovery side of the issue. This debate is important for everyone in East Brunswick. To learn all you can, visit the library, attend the rallies, and keep watching Channel 8. Thanks for watching this week.